UFC 272. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal in the main event. Former best friends turned bitter rivals. I'm really excited to see it. We'll go through each fight on the card. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and don't forget to share the video as well. And let's jump right into the predictions. First fight of the night, Dustin Jacoby versus Michał Oleksiejczuk. I think this is going to be a fun fight in the light heavyweight division. Out the gate, I'm going to pick the Jacoby side. He is 100% the better technical striker. If you look at Oleksiejczuk's striking style, very pressure heavy, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Jacoby to land. Note this, Oleksiejczuk, a southpaw. Jacoby, pretty high level with the kickboxing, fought as a pro in kickboxing, has really transitioned it nicely to MMA. I expect him to find straight left hands. He's damn good with it. I feel like a 1-2 and then that straight down the line, or even maybe starting the combination with those straight lefts, they're going to land on Oleksiejczuk. If you're the Oleksiejczuk side, you know you need to enter range with a lot of pressure. He throws wild looping hooks to close distance. Okay in the wrestling, not something I see as a significant threat. I think Dustin Jacoby will control the distance, manages range extraordinarily well. And I think here he'll manage the range even better because Oleksiejczuk very rarely is going to throw a jab at you. He's very hook-based type striking, and he wants to be in real close. But when you fight a guy with Jacoby's range management, I don't think that happens. I think this is the Dustin Jacoby show. I think he's going to put it on Michał Oleksiejczuk. Dustin Jacoby win. Leaning towards unanimous decision. Could see a potential volume style TKO and maybe that southpaw stance. We're going to see a lot of big shots landing for Jacoby. As of right now, leaning TKO or decision, but slightly towards that decision side. As far as the betting side of things, Jacoby is a -185 range favorite. Oleksiejczuk plus 170. I like Jacoby, the favorite, to beat Michał Oleksiejczuk by probably a dominant unanimous decision. Let's get to the next fight. Ľudovít Klein versus Devonte Smith. Fun lightweight striking battle. Respect to Ľudovít Klein taking this fight on very short notice. Not going to be an easy matchup either. I'm picking the Devonte Smith side here. I loved what I saw, early coming in for Ľudovít Klein, and I still think he has good potential. But he's jumping a weight class. He's fighting a long Devonte Smith who has a really good skill set, but I feel like at times underperforms. That Kama-worthy loss was bad. Jamie Mullarkey, who was winning that first round, unfortunately got caught up and stopped in that fight. I think he'll be able to pick apart Ľudovít Klein. Of course, the threat of the striking will be there for Klein, especially those check hooks. I feel like you got to watch out for them. Klein also being a southpaw could be openings for people jumping on the Klein side. I do understand it and I wouldn't hate it, but I really feel like Devonte Smith will work a nice jab and he may even mix in a bit of grappling, try to wear on Ľudovít Klein against the cage a bit. Range edge, naturally bigger guy. I think athleticism and speed slightly leans the favor of Smith, though I think Klein definitely has the better kicks of the two. I'm liking Devonte Smith. Short notice for Klein, but I expect him to be in shape. I'm leaning Devonte Smith wins by decision. Now looking at the odds for this one, -166 range, -165 for Devonte Smith. Ľudovít Klein +144. You're going to find it around there. The odds will definitely be changing. These odds just came out, so it may shift the Smith way. It may even come closer. I'm very curious to see in the coming days what these lines will be sitting at, but I'm jumping on the Devonte Smith side. Win probably decision here as well. Next fight of the night, Tim Elliott versus Tagir Ulanbekov. Fun flyweight fight. Tim Elliott's never an easy out for anybody. Ulanbekov is a serious prospect to watch. I am picking Ulanbekov, but it is not a supreme confidence, it's easy money type fight. I expect him to win, but I think he's going to be tested beyond what he has been really ever before. The reason that I think he'll definitely find success though and will earn the decision at the end, I feel like Tim Elliott doesn't bring that much of an offensive submission threat off of his back. Though Elliott's a good wrestler, when you fight against Tagir Ulanbekov, I see you getting taken down. Ulanbekov also, rangy striker. He has a reach edge of 3 inches, not super significant, but does favor him. He has a pretty good jab. He's long. The wrestling style is fantastic, very pressure heavy. He works well in the clinch, especially against the cage, as all these Dagestani fighters do, like we saw Islam Makhachev. As soon as with Bobby Green, it goes near the cage, fight's essentially over there right when it gets to the floor. Elliott is a scrappy vet, though. He fought 5 rounds with Demetrius Johnson, had a successful first round there many years back after winning the Ultimate Fighter. A bit of a looping puncher. He's bringing in these odd, like, jumping lead leg kicks, like side leg kicks. I don't know if you saw the most recent fight. The name of the opponent here is Matthew Nicolau. Yes, that fight he was doing a little bit awkward tactics, but he's always awkward. He's maybe taking it to another level. I will say Elliott's very athletic and he has good speed. I still think Ulanbekov is the technically superior fighter. It's not going to come easy, but I expect him to win. I could see it being close on the lines, but still Ulanbekov wins by decision more than likely here. Looking at the odds, Ulanbekov minus 220, Tim Elliott plus 205. Understandable, they're as wide as they are. But if it wasn't the Dagestanis, Ulanbekov, I would say minus 175 more so as a favorite, because Elliott always a very tough out. But Ulanbekov does get it done. Next fight of the night, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Brian Kelleher. I am excited to see Umar Nurmagomedov. 13-0, hasn't fought in over a year. He beat Sergey Morozov there. Brian Kelleher just beat up Kevin Kroom very recently. He gets a massive opportunity really here to fight top-rated Dagestani. I mean, the Nurmagomedov name, it carries weight against any mixed martial arts organization, any weight class. You see Nurmagomedov as the last name, that fighter's immediately getting a ton of attention. Brian Kelleher is difficult, but he's not going to beat Umar Nurmagomedov. I have Nurmagomedov here. Kelleher, I think, has definitely opportunities to make this fight competitive. He has knockout power on the feet for sure. He actually has a pretty decent wrestling game too. I really like the step-in hook stat you'll see from Brian Kelleher. They can do serious damage. Nurmagomedov, though, I think he's just a bit too good. Looking at Nurmagomedov, he's not the same style as a Khabib, you know, where he's going to just try to grind you out. He actually has a pretty good kickboxing style. He's a very light-footed striker. Dangerous kicks. He'll throw them to all levels. He'll be very frequent with the kicks. I feel like I would say he throws more kicks as strikes than really anything else. If they land, they can do serious damage. I expect him to attack Kelleher with some kicks. I still think the wrestling favors the Nurmagomedov side, but Kelleher won't go down easy. The difference is, I think, submission threat on the floor, Nurmagomedov has it. I'm going to predict Umar Nurmagomedov wins by submission, seeing it in the 2nd or 3rd round here for him. Should be a pretty fun fight. Got to respect Kelleher for taking this one, because Nurmagomedov is not an easy matchup for anybody. And if he wins, huge boost to his career. Let's keep running up the card. Marina Moroz versus Mariya Agapova. This is a very fun fight between 2 solid ladies. Do we not look at the odds for Umar Nurmagomedov? I'm going to jump back to it just for a second. Minus 624 Nurmagomedov, Kelleher plus 500. That's why I didn't look at it. It wasn't even worth a look. Those odds are essentially atrocious, in my opinion, almost impossible to. And it's very unfortunate. But Nurmagomedov should get it done. Let's jump to this next fight, though. It's Mariya Agapova versus Marina Moroz. Odds more playable, certainly, here. Agapova is actually the favorite. Ignore what you see on the Tapology screen. Agapova minus 200. Marina Moroz plus 185. I am feeling the Agapova side for the win. Even though she had that bad loss to Shayna Dobson, she's far better than that. She showed patience in the Sabina Mazo fight. When she lets her hands go, she's very dangerous. She's a southpaw. Very rangy, long girl, solid straight punches, fast hands as well. Marina Moroz, skilled kickboxing. The last fight, I feel like it, Mariah Buena Silva, looking back at it, I don't know. It could have gone either way. Extremely close. I feel like Agapova is going to take advantage of Marina Moroz, especially if she starts slowing down in the second or third round, which I could see here. I don't see a significant wrestling threat by Moroz. I think Agapova could potentially even lock up a submission in this fight. My prediction here, I'm leaning Agapova, potential club and sub type situation where she hurts Marina Moroz, gets her to the ground, and chokes her out. So I am picking Agapova, potentially submission. Wouldn't be shocked if it went the full 3 here, but I like the Agapova side. Now, looking at the lines for this one, minus 200 Agapova, plus 185 for Marina Moroz. I'm on Agapova here. I do think she gets it done. Should be fairly impressive too, and I mean, continues some momentum in her favor. That bad loss to Dobson, I think, was a great learning experience for her, and she looks so much better against Sabina Mazo. I expect even more improvement here against Marina Moroz. Mariya Agapova for the victory. Next fight of the night. Marina Rodriguez takes on Xiaonan. Excuse me, actually. Negumereanu takes on Kennedy Nzechukwu. So many fights on this card, man. We're almost ready to jump left and right. But this fight here, it is super, like, both guys are ultimate fades to me. Like, they're guys I don't want to place money on. Nzechukwu starts extremely slow. Negumereanu starts extremely fast and is a bit too crazy. His chin comes straight up in the air. Neither guy really has that elite level skill set, at least at this point. But I am picking the Negumereanu side. I think he can upset Kennedy Nzechukwu in this matchup, especially if he starts quickly putting high pressure and power strikes on him from the jump. Kennedy Nzechukwu, high guard style. He's going to be in your face with that high guard and he'll throw straight punches, but they're sloppy straight punches. They're loopy straight shots. He's a freak as far as his frame goes. He's a really tall guy, 6'5", 83-inch reach, bit of pop in his straights. Not a bad fighter, but still, I feel like he looks like such a raw talent. If he was a thicker guy, I'd say heavyweight might be a better weight class for him. Also, southpaw stance for Nzechukwu. I think Negumereanu will find openings. I think he's going to land massive hooks. That's kind of the bread and butter of his striking game, is powerful hooks pressing in. He also can wrestle decently. I could see him pressing Nzechukwu against the cage and trying to hold position from there. He gives up a bit of height, but the reach is not super significant. I mean, I guess both guys long, 83-inch reach to 78-inch reach. It favors the Nzechukwu side, obviously. But man, Nzechukwu looks so bad in that last fight. I feel like it's impossible for me to pick his side. He started super slow. If Negumereanu gets going, he lets his hands fly. I think he can do some serious damage. I like Negumereanu win by knockout in this fight, and I can see it in the first or second round. Looking at the odds for this one, plus 133 for Negumereanu, Nzechukwu minus 147. Give me Negumereanu by knockout. Next fight of the night, Marina Rodriguez versus Xiaonan. I would say for Rodriguez, this is like very close to a #1 contender fight. Xiaonan probably at least one away because she just lost to Carla Esparza most recently and she got ass-handed to her there. It was a beatdown, but Esparza, tricky wrestler. You're getting striker here with Marina Rodriguez. I like the Marina Rodriguez side, but I will tell you this. I'll pull up the odds right now because they favor Rodriguez heavy. It is minus 247 best value, plus 235 for Jan. They should be a lot closer than that. The odds are wrong in this matchup. I think they're really overplaying the Rodriguez side, which makes it hard, to really throw down on her. Being women's MMA, seeing the odds as wide as they are. But I'll tell you this, I think Rodriguez is better from range with their striking, though explosiveness leads the way favorable towards the Xiaonan side. But as far as volume striking, I think it favors Rodriguez. She's pretty technical and has nice speed. Her front kicks are good, so she does manage distance well, which I think is going to be a factor in this fight. She's taller by an inch, 2-inch reach advantage, but I think the legs are also longer. Rodriguez should look to fight from distance. I think Xiaonan's going to be looking for more power strikes coming in. She actually has pretty good boxing, and her hands are pretty fast, but I don't think she'll find near that type of success as she did against a Claudia Gadelha, against, a female like Marina Rodriguez, who makes it difficult to even close distance on her. Should be a very competitive fight. I could see it coming down to the winner of that third round wins the fight. It might even be a split decision. I like the Marina Rodriguez decision side, but I'll tell you guys, it's going to be extremely close. If you're betting, it might be a nail biter. Don't blame the people betting the dog in this one. As far as the odds, Minus 247 range, as I said. Xiaonan plus 235. I personally don't like to play. I would rather sit, watch, enjoy this matchup, but give me Rodriguez for next fight of the night. It brings us to our featured prelim. It is Jalin Turner versus Jamie Mullarkey. This is a good fight. Lightweights going after it here, and I am very excited to find out who has it. Turner has shown good improvements. I feel like his jab is really good. He's a southpaw, which is something to note, and he controls distance well, being a tall guy that's pretty necessary for the weight class. Mullarkey's not an easy matchup, though. Closes distance well, flurries inside, big power in his hands, too, and rips to the body nicely. But I got to tell you guys the pick right now, almost out the gate, a few seconds in. I'm going the Jamie Mullarkey underdog side. I think that he can pull this one off. Heavy kicks as well from Jamie Mullarkey could be a problem. I could actually see him potentially looking to grind a bit against the cage on Turner and then rip big body shots. Turner's not going to be an easy fight, though. I do see this as like a near pick'ems matchup. The odds are not widespread at all here. Right now, the odds favor the Turner side just by a bit. Minus 125, plus 120 Mullarkey. Those are best value. It's pretty much pick'ems. I'm going the dog, Jamie Mullarkey. I'm leaning towards decision or even third round TKO. I could see him getting some body shots off, getting the stoppage. Jalin Turner will not be an easy out for Mullarkey, but I just have a feeling Mullarkey's going to get this one done. Extremely competitive fight on paper, and I can't wait to see it as they fight it out in the featured prelim. This is an awesome featured prelim and one you don't want to miss. But let's jump to the main card. If you guys have not yet, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. It is Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. Battle of the heavyweights. Greg Hardy's a dog, and I think Greg Hardy's going to knock Sergey Spivak out. You look at the stand-up game of Spivak, I'm not impressed. Chin's a little high, a little bit awkward with the hands, very arm punch heavy. Whereas Greg Hardy has developed a solid kickboxing game. He has real knockout power. He has heavy hooks and overhands. He presses inside well. And also, as you come to him with strikes, he'll slowly back up and then follow it with a counter, which is something I really like to see from Greg Hardy. He's definitely improving. Problem, minimal jiu-jitsu skill set on the floor, most definitely. I'll note this, though. Decent takedown defense. Sergey Spivak, I don't think has that great of offensive wrestling. I don't think he'll have an easy time getting the much naturally thicker and bigger man, Greg Hardy, to the floor. You look at Marcin Tybura, Greg Hardy, and now place Spivak in there. I think Spivak gets beaten there. I think he gets stopped. I think knockout round number 1 for Greg Hardy. Spivak coming off a knockout loss. Walt Harris also knocked him out. I see Greg Hardy in a very advantageous stylistic matchup. If he's striking, he's doing damage, and he's getting the knockout. Greg Hardy, KO, round 1. Underdog. I love the value for Greg Hardy here, especially going to play down that knockout prop. Plus 180 for Hardy, minus 201 for Sergey Spivak. I am all over the Greg Hardy side. Win by knockout, and I'm thinking in that first round. Should be a fun fight to start it out. Next fight of the night. Kevin Holland returns to the cage, this time at 170 pounds. He fights Alex Cowboy Oliveira, an aging Cowboy Oliveira who's on a tough 3-fight losing streak. I guess Holland's also skidding 0-2 and 1 no contest in his last 3, and in that no contest he did get choked out and knocked out essentially with that headbutt. In this fight, though, I do like Holland. I think his boxing from range is an advantage here. Alex Oliveira has power in his hands and he's explosive, but I really feel like he'll have a hard time closing distance. Oliveira's really long, 76.5-inch reach. At 170, that is super long, I would say. He's one of the longer guys. But now he's fighting a guy, Kevin Holland, who has an 81-inch reach, 6'3". Just big range advantages. I think the jab of Holland will work. I think he'll follow it with good straight punches. I can see him hurting Cowboy Oliveira here. Improved wrestling defense. I do expect Oliveira to look to shoot. Don't forget, Kevin Holland's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. On the floor, he is very good. Granted, yes, you saw him get grinded out by Vettori, grinded out by Brunson, different matchups, and now he's down a weight class. Of course, how he looks on the scale is going to be a big factor. If he looks like absolute shit on Friday, maybe the pick changes. But right now, what I've seen of these guys, it's the Holland side for me. I'm thinking Holland potentially second or third round TKO. I think he could stop Alex Oliveira striking if he lets his hands fly and he gets some power shots landing. He does hit hard. Kevin Holland for the win, and he's going to beat Alex Oliveira win his debut in the UFC at 170, which is such an exciting thing. I think he's going to be a fun addition. Minus 250 Holland, plus 235 for Alex Oliveira. Let's see if Holland can make a run here at 170 pounds in 2022. I'm excited to find out, and I think it starts with Alex Oliveira. Next fight of the night, Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. This is old school. This is striker Barboza versus grappler Mitchell. Mitchell's fantastic on the floor, I'll tell you that. Thug Nasty, awesome nickname for him. He's got the camo shorts too, which I'm so happy they did that for him. I'm picking the Bryce Mitchell side. It's hard for me to pick the striker over a grappler, especially somebody that's as successful with continuous chain wrestling as Bryce Mitchell and has shown the improvements that he has. Edson Barboza is dangerous as hell standing up. And if he can defend takedowns, I'll tell you this, Bryce Mitchell is in trouble. Maybe this is one that you're live betting, because I will note, Bryce Mitchell's a favorite right now. He's sitting at minus 140 range, plus 130 range for Edson Barboza. Odds are pretty close, though, which I am glad to see, and I think it's a super close matchup because it's the battle of the game plans. If Barboza defends takedowns, starts attacking with low kicks, body kicks, punches, I mean, shoot, his hands can do serious work. The way he beat up Shane Burgos was super impressive to me in the last fight. Barboza still has it. But if Bryce Mitchell gets this fight on the floor, I think he's a level above with his grappling skills. I could see him grinding towards a unanimous decision. Will he be able to go the 3 and not get touched up by Edson Barboza? I guess we'll find out. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to pick the Bryce Mitchell side. But even as I'm saying it, I'm nervous because Edson Barboza 100% is live as a dog here. With the lines coming closer, maybe this is one you set out and watch. I know some people might be confident on the Mitchell side. He could grab a sub, definitely, but Barboza could 100% knock him out as well. So we'll find out on fight night. Bryce Mitchell is 14-0 as a pro, so let's see if he can keep that undefeated streak going. I'm excited, and I'm going to pick Bryce Mitchell to move to 15-0 over the MMA legend Edson Barboza. Next fight of the night is the co-main event. It is 5 rounds. Note that. Rafael dos Anjos, Rafael Fiziev. Battle of the Rafaels. I guess technically it'd be Rafael Fiziev and Rafael dos Anjos due to country pronounce, I guess the language pronunciation of both names. Fiziev is a monster striking and super dangerous. Dos Anjos is an extremely well-rounded veteran. I'm going to pick the Dos Anjos side. It's 5 rounds. It's hard for me not to lean his favor. We haven't seen Rafael Fiziev tested against a guy with, in my opinion, the grappling accolades of Rafael dos Anjos. On the floor, he is dangerous, super heavy on top, can get takedowns, and does well against the cage. We haven't seen Fiziev there yet. And if he passes this test, I'd be super happy for him and impressed, and we'd have a real prospect to watch. And who knows, maybe Fiziev wins this, somehow finds himself in a Conor McGregor fight if he gets enough momentum from this co-main event win, because it's definitely going to be one that can build his name. But I think Dos Anjos is going to be a problem. Stylistically, I see him looking to clinch up against the cage. Potentially, I see this fight looking similar to the Paul Felder versus Dos Anjos one. I'm going Rafael dos Anjos win here. Fiziev's striking is a problem, and he's elite standing up 100%. He has great feints. He has very heavy kicks, super fast kicks too. Powerful hooks. He'll dig to the body well. And I mean, he's not a super tall guy, but extremely good at distance management. That just comes from being, you know, an elite level stand-up fighter, head coach striking over at Tiger Muay Thai. So obviously this guy has the tools to do it. I think, though, Dos Anjos' MMA game is going to be the difference maker. If he doesn't want to just stand and trade, if he does, he could get himself knocked out, definitely. But if he looks to mix in some grappling with the striking, I think Dos Anjos has success. Rafael dos Anjos win, and I'm picking him here potentially by decision. Now, looking at the lines, Dos Anjos is a big underdog. Plus 216, Fiziev minus 243. Might be a passing of the torch fight, or will the old lion maintain himself? I mean, Dos Anjos made a run at welterweight. It didn't work out. He took a long time off from the lightweight division. But when he came back and fought Paul Felder, he looked as good as ever. So I'm excited to find out. Dos Anjos for the win. I'm picking the underdog in this fight. Next fight of the night. Main event of the evening. Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you haven't, and subscribe if you're new. Colby Covington is my pick. I'm going to tell you guys out the gate. I feel like the biggest difference here is Covington's high pace, extremely high volume of striking, but the wrestling base. You've seen these guys play around wrestling in videos, and you know Colby Covington can get Jorge Masvidal down. And I'm telling you this, Colby Covington will look for takedowns, and I do believe he'll get Masvidal down at some point. Now, Jorge Masvidal isn't a guy that just lays on his back and lets you beat him up. He'll throw shots from the bottom. He's actually really offensive from bottom positions. Not going to be throwing up subs, but he'll be ripping you with some elbows, especially if you're in his guard. On the feet, advantage Masvidal as far as the power and just the overall danger of standing up with him. But Colby Covington has high volume. He's in very good shape. He's shown a good chin. He ate big shots from Kamaru Usman, managed to go the full distance. George can't say the same in the last one. I think Colby Covington and him throw down in what should be a pretty fun scrap. Can George survive? Can Masvidal go the full 5 with Colby Covington? That's a question that I'm really wondering. I'm leaning towards the answer being yes, but I could also see Covington stopping him around 4 or 5. I got Covington winning. I see him putting it on Jorge Masvidal. I think he's going to get it done. The friends turn bitter rivals matchup is fantastic. I feel like the gas tank of Colby is better. The wrestling is better. He controls where the fight goes. With that wrestling threat, I think strikes open up, and I think he can have a bit of success with the hands. Expect Masvidal and him to be jawing at each other a bit throughout the fight too. It's definitely a great non-title main event pay-per-view fight. Normally, you can't sell a non-title main event. Right here, you absolutely can, because these are some of the biggest names in the UFC. I can't wait for it. I'm going Colby Covington. As far as the betting side, you're probably going to skip it. Minus 315 Covington, maybe a parlay edition. Maybe we'll prop it up. Jorge Masvidal plus 295 range as the underdog. I like the Colby Covington side. I think he gets it done. Overall, we have such a fun 272 card. I'm going to rate this an A. This card is essentially stacked from bottom to top, and I cannot wait to see each of the matchups and also find out if the picks come through for us, which I am very confident that they will. Much love to everybody who supports. Make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn the post notifications on so you don't miss a video. And you really enjoy the content, share the video too. Help your boy out. Much love, guys. I'll be dropping content throughout the week, so stay tuned for it. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.